Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. It has been a hot minute of a second that I have posted something. But yeah, I felt that now's the time to post my interviews that I've done with a few of my students beforehand. And this is not the video that you're going to be watching, and it's not what I'm editing behind the screen. That is something entirely different. It is a totally different video that you're about to be watching, about 30 seconds. But I just want to pop on here, say welcome back to the videos. Honestly, I don't post very, very consistently. I post when it feels good, when I feel struck by inspiration from the chef upstairs. And this was one of them that I felt really good about. It's a video. It's an interview that I did with one of my best students of all time, Gavin Johnston, and he has been absolutely like a sponge when it comes to copywriting and marketing and soaking up knowledge and just being someone who just actually takes action on the stuff that I teach, right? And so of course the results have shown. And yeah, we sat down over like a 30 minute convo, and we talked about all things of his journey, his story, of course, what it was like working inside the cohort and the mastermind, and just his whole experience as a copywriter in 2024 specifically. So I think you guys might find it valuable. I really loved this conversation. And yeah, without further ado, I'm going to kick it off. And here is actually, I'm going to go like this. We're going to kick it off. Welcome me and Gavin from the past.
Sick, man. All right. Well, let's dive in then. I'd love to hear your whole story of how you came to me, who you even heard me from, and then where you're at now. So what was your life situation before you kind of found out about, Cameron Cruz?
Yeah, for sure. I was like in a community. Um, Cameron was actually in the same one, and there was a group call, and he was like doing a workout, and I was like, "Yo, who is this guy?" And I like went on his Instagram, and I was like, "Yo, this guy looks like he lives like a sick life, like traveling, all stuff I wanted to do." And I found out that he had done copywriting, and basically I had like already paid for like a mentorship kind of with somebody else for copywriting, but like results weren't really like it didn't really have like the whole thing, and it was pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So I decided to hit Cameron up, and basically we went from there.
Sick. Well, yeah, you could just talk to me, like just have our normal convo.
Yeah, very cool.
Honestly, this is just gonna go on YouTube. I don't know who else will see this, so
Cool.
super casual, super chill. I just like have these good check-ins because I feel like you out of all the students have just been implementing everything straight away, and it's just pretty good to hear for the people who are potentially like interested in copywriting, like actually what it takes to kind of get to where
Yeah.
you're at now, from where you were, which was basically what
Ground
ground
zero.
zero. Yeah, ground zero,
Yeah.
like no other skills, no other
Yeah.
business. You're in college, right? Like you're basically
Yeah.
college student, ground zero. And then I popped into your field of awareness. And then what happened next after that?
Yeah. So I had a marine bio degree, and I liked marine bio, but I basically like didn't really want to do anything with it.
Mhm.
So basically I was like a little hesitant to get into like the online space, or I wasn't hesitant, but I like wasn't sure if I could make money. Like I thought it would be too hard to like kind of, like get sales online with basically no experience, because that's what I had. I had like no copywriting experience at all. So yeah, I was like a little hesitant at first, but then basically like I hopped on the call with you, and we just like kind of like build that fundamental of copywriting in the beginning. And then I think like literally my second outreach email ever. Like I got like one of my like it was crazy, dude. I was like, there's no way this is happening right now. Like Cam or you basically like made me come up with a list of like 100 people that I wanted to work with, and then like
Yeah.
the second guy on my list, like favorite author ever, basically was just like, yeah, like I hit him up in an email, and he was like, yeah, like let's go, like come
Let's
work for me.
go.
So
Why do you think that
yeah, it
is?
was like,
Why do you think you're able to bat basically 100, well, was that I don't even know. I don't know baseball, but like you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
why were you able
The
to?
first guy answered me too. The first guy on the
Oh,
outreach
cool.
answered me too. He was like, "Yo, this is dope. Let's chat." So I was like 2 for 2. I was batting 1,000.
Yeah, exactly. Why do you think that was for you?
First part of it was like the cold emails, because they were like hilarious, and I think like you helping me craft like one on, that kind of like was personal to my level.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was one reason. And then like two was basically just like I had like nothing to lose, and I was like super excited and like kind of like passionate to get rolling because like that whole month prior, I had basically only been like learning how to do copywriting, and then when the outreach came, I was like, all right, let's go, like let's do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. No, that's exactly how it was for me. Like, it's that mindset of like until it happens,
Yeah,
but combine that with like you having nothing to lose, you're basically an unstoppable machine. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, it then
yeah,
becomes like really, really fun to just like, get almost even get rejected. Like, you're just happy to get rejected
yeah.
because, you just have nothing to lose and you're just like, I'm just gonna keep going until this fucking works, you know?
It feels like you're kind of like a bull in a cage because you spend like literally like I don't know like 48 hours like collectively just like watching videos and kind of like learning the basics of like how to copyright, and then like once you're done, like once you get the green light to go do outreach, you're just like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, yeah. You're like that cage fighter, right? You're just like waiting
Yeah,
for the door to swing open.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
No,
that's what it felt like, and then I was just like, all right, this is sick. Like let's get going. So
yeah. I
it
think
was
it's
dope.
kind of like, yeah, exactly. I think it was sort of like really right time, right place for you, as well as like just for the people who are kind of like getting started in this space. I find it's like, you have to kind of have that like hunger and desire to like, because you were definitely not going down the route of like marine biologist, were you?
No, yeah, like I did all of this while I was in school too. So it was literally
Yeah.
like Cam and I had our calls, and I was like, yeah, I can't do Tuesday at all. I have class from 9:30 to 5:30. So I literally do that, and then I'd come home and just do copywriting. Like,
Yeah.
and then even when I was in school too, it was just like my like whole brain was like I told you, like my whole brain was just like copywriting, copywriting, copywriting.
Yeah. Sick. Okay,
It was good.
so let's continue with the story then. So you were basically ground zero, first two outreach emails, you hit them off, you got instant replies, and that was within how long? How long? Like within like
Like
2 weeks, 3 weeks? What was that?
yeah, I think like that like first 3 weeks, like we initially spent just like building the basics, building the foundation of like me becoming like a solid copywriter. And
Yeah.
then like I started outreach, and then 24 hours later, I already had like two replies. So
So 3 weeks. So about like 3 weeks to your
yeah, like
first
three
reply.
weeks. Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Okay.
about.
From zero
Yeah.
to yeah, okay, cool. Okay, and then
Yeah.
you got a reply. What happened after that?
So basically, I got a reply from well, the first and the second client, and then the second client, like we moved forward, and I sent over some samples which he really enjoyed, and then we hopped on a call, and uh, basically well, Cam and I had talked about, or we had talked about,
Yeah.
it wasn't really like email copywriting. It was more of like social media copywriting, and then like a few other tasks as well. So like can't we had like kind of like set like a price on what I should take, just because it was like more hands-on.
Yeah.
So I negotiated that price with him on the call, and then yeah, one for one on the sales call, I guess too. So
Nice. Big
yeah,
day. So wait,
yeah.
so what did it close for? It was like 4K, right? Or something like
It
that?
was so he wanted to do 4250, and then we closed at 5K. So 5K per month.
Within basically 3 weeks, a 5K per month client, almost.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like the sales call, it was like a month. So
Yeah, because then there's some time between that, but
yeah.
pretty much a full month to get,
Yeah.
of starting working together.
Yeah.
That's like,
Pretty much.
yeah. And I know that client didn't end up like working out. There was like a little, if you want to chat about that, happy to, I think it could be good to talk about like what the lessons you learned from that one. And then like
Yeah.
you ended up winning regardless on that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
For sure. Like I said before, it wasn't really email copywriting. It was this guy was like very big in the entrepreneurial space, very big in the
Yeah.
podcast space. Like,
Yeah.
and I was helping out with social media and YouTube and all that stuff, basically like a team member role, for like 2 million subscribers on YouTube, million followers on Instagram, like all within a month of like copywriting. Basically, it was a lot more automation instead of like kind of like that creative writing
Yeah.
that
So
I signed on
actually,
for,
right.
which like wasn't a problem. Like I still learned like a bunch of stuff and met like a bunch of great people. But basically like the lessons I learned, like when you're, kind of running your own business, you have to kind of fend for yourself and set the frame from the beginning. And just like, if it's not something that you want to do, like you can speak
It's
up
like,
about that.
yeah, like communicate it clearly.
Yeah. But I like across that 3 months, like working with that client, like I've learned like so much as well. So like they were like great as well. It just, yeah, it didn't end up working out. So
Yeah, and they even like paid you like 7,500 or something like that, right?
yeah, yeah, it was like just
Like
a
at the
mutual
end.
thing. Like the whole like team members like was kind of older, and I was like the youngest one on the team. So I think they were just looking for someone. I don't know. Like I provided like good copy. Like I was there for them, but he was just looking for like a different.
Yeah, there it's
Yeah,
just a totally different role they were looking for.
yeah,
But either way, regardless of that whole situation, like it was still a big win for you because like, your first client, big name under your belt,
yeah,
even 5K a month, it's like still like a huge, massive win for like your
yeah.
first, you know, toe in the water, I'd say, right?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, and
Top.
that was still like all while I was in school too. So it was just
Yeah.
like kind of crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Pretty unreal. So what about now? I mean, now you're still writing emails, right? You're like working for clients or
Yeah. So basically on the tail end of that client, I signed another client writing emails for. I just like sent him an email basically saying I had done some work with some other clients and we hopped on a call and then it was 2 for 2 on sales calls. So yeah.
nice.
Yeah. So now I'm writing emails for him. Like I do like I manage his email list and we do like 3 to 4 emails per week.
Yeah.
Basically tailored on the fitness subject, which is something like I'm really passionate about. And it's kind of like I was telling you this, like it's kind of like what I imagined myself doing, like when I first heard copywriting, just like because like money aside as well, it's just like I'm at a point now where I can like kind of help people and spread messages to them, like positive messages and like
Yeah.
encourage them to take action. So which
Nice.
is dope.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, let's talk about copywriting then itself, like the actual skill. Like what's been your favorite part of like the whole game, like learning about it and just getting into this side of the, online business?
I think my favorite part about it is just like it's a pro and a con, but like it's definitely more of a pro. I just like can't stop thinking about it pretty much. And I'd
Yeah.
say
Mhm.
like once you learn copywriting, you're not like learning just copywriting. Like it's like the persuasion, like the sales and like everything that else that comes along with it. So like I'll be out like with my friends and stuff and um like I don't have like like specific situation, but I'll just like copies on my mind and like persuasion just like comes through and it like rolls through my conversations easily. And like I'll be watching TV and I'm just like, oh, that's a shitty ad. And it's just like all over. And I think that's like the best part about it. It's just like I've like become like really passionate towards it. And it's not like that needing feeling like I need to like become better in copywriter. It's just like I want to. Like I'm like
Yeah.
always like curious,
Yeah.
like always wanting to learn more about it, which I think is like the best part. So
Yeah. You basically like become obsessed with like the
yeah,
craft. And it's like,
yeah, for sure.
yeah, the other thing is like you're really becoming like a better man, you know what I mean? Like out of the
Yeah.
skill, like by having a craft and a skill and focusing all your attention on like something that's valuable to the world, which is like persuasion, communication, and just becoming a better writer. Like those
Mm.
sort of three skills are like, you're just increasing your value as a man. It's just the love of the game, after a certain point, you just like fall in love with the game.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that for sure. It's been
Yeah.
good.
What about like your favorite part of the, working with me and like the whole course and curriculum and just the trainings that I put you through and like everything so far? Because it's been kind of a while actually. It's been like how many months? Like a couple months.
I
I've
don't even
lost track.
know.
Yeah, we've both lost track.
Yeah.
We've both lost track. But like, what's been your favorite part of it? And like, I guess maybe if you want to leave people with like three things that you've learned inside of the cohorts and all that.
Like I said, I've done like other copywriting like courses in the past, and the one thing I liked about yours when you came in, it was just like, all right, like let's put copy aside for a second, and like let's just kind of focus on like where you want to go before we do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
And I think like that was like probably the thing I needed most because like without kind of like setting where you want to go, like there's no It's not really like a good goal. So I think that was probably the best part about it. And then like aside from that, like when we get on calls and like we're learning, like it's just like we're like goofing around basically. Like it's just like
Yeah.
it like feels like we're like best friends and like you're just like teaching me like I don't know, like how to skateboard or something. Like it's just like all the calls are like super casual and like every call, like every hour, I'm like learning something new. Like even when I thought I like couldn't learn, like even past that point, like it's just like you're always like whipping something out of your bag. Like the outreach calls are like so funny. And
Oh yeah,
just like the whole dynamic in general is just like you just like make it really easy to learn from, which I think is good.
yeah. All right. Finish this sentence here for me. So I almost didn't work with you because blank.
I almost didn't work with you because, oh yeah, I almost didn't work with you because I didn't know if like it was worth the investment.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
I guess like that was kind of like a me thing. Like I just like kind of like scared to give up money in the beginning, but then like within like 2 days after like whatever our first call, I was just like, yeah, I made a good call for
Yeah.
sure.
It was a good. I remember you're definitely on the edge. And yeah, you were like, I'm glad I kind of like pushed you over that edge because you wouldn't be here if I didn't,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too
Cool.
for sure.
All right. And then who would you kind of recommend like the cohorts to? Because I know you've already brought in like a few referrals already, but like what kind of person would you recommend to like the
Yeah.
copy cohorts? And to be clear, I am planning like the next launch and putting together a full curriculum and making it way snazzier than it is like now. But
Yeah.
still, yeah, like who would you recommend?
I honestly think like regardless of what you do, I think like copywriting is like a sick skill to have. And like just besides the copywriting, like you're getting so much more like persuasion, communication, like sales skills. Like I couldn't even imagine myself taking a sales call, but like here I am, like 2 for 2 at this point. But I really recommend it to anyone just like who's just kind of like wants to like, you know, doesn't want to work to 9 to 5, like wants to be comfortable like at home or traveling and basically, confident in their self to like make enough money anywhere in the world, basically. I think it's just like a good skill to have for sure. Like regardless of what you do, I'd honestly recommend it to like anyone coming just out of college, I think, who's like not really sure if they want to like move in the 9 to 5 world or maybe they're not sure about like what they want to do. I think like picking up this skill is gonna help you out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, what do you think about like the evolving landscape of copy? Like, what would you say to that? Like how there's like AI in the mix and this and that.
Yeah, I think the AI thing is like kind of a bullshit. I think it's something like the top copywriters use to like kind of like scare you a little bit, just because I've seen an AI email, and then I've seen an email that Cameron wrote, and it's just like it like blows Cameron's emails like blow it out of the water. I think it's like very, very far away, and I think if you want to become like a good copywriter in the space, it's like very doable, and it would be hard for
Yeah.
AI to take your job.
Very, yeah. I mean, at least for, if it progresses, whatever, like that's still speculation, I'd say as well. Like
Yeah.
even that progressing and this and that. And even I've used AI like to enhance a lot of my stuff as well.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, it's
so
a good tool.
yeah, it is a good tool, but it's not a replacement for what
Mhm.
a copywriter does. And like the other thing too is you have to like understand that like copyright, like being a copywriter is more than like it's I almost want to like not even call it being a copywriter anymore. It's like more of like a copy consultant is really what I
Yeah.
do, at least, is like I consult on every part of the sales messaging, so however I put that into a phrase, other than like copywriting, because there's like, that whole like title or identity of like being a copywriter is kind of weird at the same time. It's like you're kind of
Yeah.
typecast to just like only what is copywriting, right? It's like email marketing, sales pages, video sales letters, da da da, right? But like outside of that, I've offered so many other services like throughout my career, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm sure you'll see the same too, but like even you already have already offered like, list management basically, right? It's like not really copywriting, but you're like a consultant basically
Yeah.
is really what you are.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is just kind of the name of the game of being like a consultant. So
Mhm. Yeah. I've definitely noticed that too with like one of my clients now. like basically I'm their copywriter, but even in the testimonial that they just gave me, it's just like, like he's a good person. Like his communication is on top of, he's on top of everything. Like he's always down to brainstorm. I think like you're a copywriter, but you're also like there to help them support your business as well.
Right.
So I've definitely
Yeah,
noticed
at
that.
the end of the day, it's really about like being able to get a client and a return on their investment, and not only that, like being able to increase their overall revenue is what you're coming in to do, you know? So
Yeah.
when you focus on that and focusing on A, the like the revenue, and B, like delivering a good ass service, whatever that looks like pretend you're like at a restaurant and you're like,
Yeah.
which restaurant would you rather go to? You know, the restaurant that's like, has zero people in line and like takes forever for you to get your food, and the food tastes like shit. It tastes like AI built
Yeah.
it. Or the restaurant that's like, or the restaurant that's got like this super long line out the door, and like the food is delivered like almost as soon as you order it, and it's
Yeah.
like tastes amazing. It's like, very creative food, never seen before. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
rich, and the price is higher, obviously. Like which restaurant would you rather go to? You know what I mean? And so it's the
Yeah.
same thing as like if you're a consultant or calling yourself a copywriter, media buyer, whatever, you got to be able to know the skill of delivering a good ass service. And that's something we talked about recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's super important for people who are like scared of the becoming a copywriter. It's like understand that you're more than a copywriter. You're actually like a service provider in all regards. So we kind of
Yeah.
like I've kind of crafted you specifically what your key service is. I mean, when you're beginning, it's easy again to emails and short form content because it's like the very easiest, like lowest hanging fruit to learn. But there's other
Mhm.
skills that I'm sure that we could probably even talk about, like learning about as well. So like sales
Yeah.
pages, VSLs, all that stuff too. So
Yeah. For sure.
cool, man. Well, anything you want to leave the people with? Any closing thoughts?
I would say like, like regardless, even if it's not copywriting, but if it is copywriting, like, like you're looking to look and, learn a new skill and you're kind of hesitant, I would just say like, take the leap for sure. It's definitely worth it. And like in my experience, it's definitely worth it. Like in college, hitting a 10K month is like unbelievable. So,
Yeah.
and like regardless, like aside from the money, like you just become a better person. Like your communication skills are up, like persuasion, like everything else. Like I think it just, as long as you have like a strong why and you're like actually passionate about helping other people, I think like learning a skill like this is gonna help you for sure in the long
Mhm.
run. So I
Definitely.
just say like take the leap for sure.
Yeah. Two things that just popped into my field of awareness before we close. Like we didn't mention how much your revenue has been at now, because
Yeah.
you subtly dropped 10K a month, but yeah, you pretty quickly got to 10K, which was your goal,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I think so. My original goal was like 10K a month. And then I think I hit that in like 4 months. And that was like with those two clients.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then now you have a retainer client that's like
Yeah, now I have a retainer client. I'm doing like 3 to 4 emails per week, and they pay me 3,000 a month.
nice.
And I'm currently doing outreach for some more clients as well. So
Yeah, easy. But
yeah,
still, dude, I mean, within your first 4 months, 10K, and then now
yeah,
a consistent, reliable income at like 3K a
yeah,
month. And of course, it's gonna be like you've already tasted what 10K feels like, It's like pretty
yeah,
easy
yeah.
to go from there, right?
Yeah. So I think it'll be like in a matter of no time. So
Yeah,
back at it. So
I agree. When you just put the gas on again.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, investing in yourself, right? Like, I think you even wrote an email about that I was
Yeah.
critiquing. I think that's the other thing that people have to get over when they're like kind of beginning is like just being able to invest in yourself and like actually take a bet on yourself. And
Mhm.
whenever I've bet on myself, even to this day, like I have things that I know I need to like, actually, get me to the next level and like make investments towards. It's always like that. It's that same fear, no matter what level you're at. Like there's endless levels to the game, but you pretty soon like start to desensitize yourself to like that fear of like investing in yourself, right? And like doing that. How have you seen that yield a return on you so far?
Yeah, I think like this honestly might be like straight out of the email I just wrote, but like
Yeah.
I think the decision to like invest in yourself, like once you make that decision, you're like kind of like saying to yourself, like, like I'm worth it, like I'm worth it to bet on. Like
Yeah.
basically like you can like once you do that, like once you realize that you're worth it to bet on, like you have like all the confidence in the world, and it basically just starts like the second you invest in yourself.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And it's
yeah,
fun too. And it's fun.
it really is fun. It really is fun. Like I've had so much fun like this past like I don't even know like 5 months, 6 months or whatever. But like like just like learning from someone else and like kind of betting on yourself, like building your own business. Like it's just like it's such a fun journey
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly. Yeah.
And like the people you meet too are like unbelievable. Like I never thought I would be working with like a caliber of people like this before.
Yeah,
And
that's what
it's
I'm saying. Like that's kind of why I put this whole thing together is because like I was able to transform my whole network, almost
yeah,
overnight with my business, and that's like definitely what's possible too. So
yeah, for sure. And you definitely learn like although like I'm in there to provide a service for my clients, like they definitely still teach you stuff too, like regardless of like what their niche is as well. Like just like
right.
being friends with them, like being like building a good rapport, like you learn a lot of stuff for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Sweet man.
So
Well, I think that about wraps it up here. So yeah, we had some really good closing thoughts and lessons here. This was a good one. Gavin,
cool.
thank you, bro. It's been a freaking pleasure like coaching you and seeing you grow. Obviously more to come, more to,
Yeah.
more growth to go. And we're still
Let's
like,
do another one of these.
yeah, let's do another check-in at some point. It would be good.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll end it here and we can stay on after, but to everyone else, peace.